Everybody is always talking about with 10K that it helps their health and it makes them feel better in a day, and they think that it is helping them lose weight. I think all of that's valid too, but it seems like nobody ever talks about the other benefits of 10K steps a day. And for me, I've realized one of the biggest ones is that my brain has time to itself. Let me explain. So, normally on an everyday basis, we have a 9 to 5 job that we work at, and then we get home, and then, a lot of times what we do is we cook ourselves a dinner, or maybe we don't, maybe we order out, and then we just kind of sit there, and then, that's the end of the day. We maybe watch some entertainment, and then we go to bed. When is the time that we are allowed to actually self-reflect? What time do we have where we're self-reflecting and thinking about what our day is like? We don't have any. And so that's where you have to make time for yourself at some point to do your 5 to 10K steps a day. And, a lot of times the advice is just to do it early or do it late. I'm not here to talk about that. But in any case, when you don't allow your brain to actually have time where it's not inundated with a bunch of crap from the outside world, where it's just allowed to be itself, you don't know what you want, and why would you? And so the thing is, when I started doing these about a month ago, the 5 to 10K steps a day, I would actually go outside. I would not have my iPod on. I would not have any sort of, I would not have any of my media on at all playing in my head. Nothing. So I would just go on my walk and just be listening to the sounds around me and my own internal dialogue. And I have to tell you, when I first started, it was pretty dark. My internal thoughts were not particularly happy, not particularly good in general. And I would just let my brain work through those over time, because it really got to the point where, I needed to work through some stuff. And before then, I didn't have any time because I was always focused on something else at that time. And I wouldn't give myself any sort of wiggle room with, just free time. And so when your brain is able to actually just let itself go, and when you don't have external thoughts going through, it's pretty interesting where your brain can end up. And so my brain would be a little negative at the start, and it would get a little more positive, and then I would get to this point where I'd start thinking about, what do I want to do? What is my goals in the day? And then oftentimes it would not only think about goals, it would think about creative solutions to problems in my life. And that's where I figured out, wow, this is freaking amazing. I'm thinking about things that I would have never considered before. And it was just simple. All it was just allowing my brain to work on its own. And I think it's sad. We don't give ourselves any kind of free, true free time in our brain. We just let it always be influenced by outside media. I mean, I would honestly say for me, it's changed my whole outlook, because I have been able to now go on my walks, and then I get through with it. I have a clear head, and my brain is less negative overall. And then I'm able to finally, chill out throughout the day, because I got through all the crap that I needed to sort through. And as a result of that, actually, I've been in a much better mood overall. And it's wild to me that we just don't produce any time for ourselves to actually just be truly by ourselves. I think if I could have gotten this into my head much earlier, I could have gotten my mental health so much better, and I could have been in a good trajectory and path forward so much earlier in my life.